All right, Nick, let's talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes. They come in, they get the win against Indiana. Not exactly the way that they wanted things to happen, but nonetheless, they do get the win, and that is what matters. A win is a win. But we have a story that shows Ryan Day and co. maybe are rethinking things a little bit, and this could be a bright future for Ohio State if everything plays out the way it should.
Yeah, certainly things are getting interesting in Columbus, and the reports out of Ryan Day's camp kind of highlight that. There's definitely some changes that need to be made, to be honest, if Ohio State wants to get better, which leads me directly into my question today for Ohio State fans. Look, to be honest, your schedule's kind of light over the next few weeks, but Notre Dame, not that far away. That's obviously, I think, one of the bigger games of the early college football season. So in the comment section below, give us your prediction. I know it's a few weeks away now, but let's be honest, this is the big game for Ohio State versus Notre Dame. Give us your score, your prediction of the game in the comment section below. But all right, Miles, what you got? What's the latest out of Columbus?
Yeah, Nick, when Kyle McCord got on the field for Ohio State versus Indiana, it wasn't as smooth as you would want it to be. Things just didn't gel. It didn't look as polished as we have seen offenses in the past. The defense looked great, offense not so much. And that is where the name Devin Brown comes into play. This is a guy we've been talking about. We have been saying potentially maybe this guy is the guy. He has been inching up closer and closer. And one thing that Day has commented on is the consistency of McCord's play that did not show up in the game against Indiana. But first, let's get into the article and we'll discuss it a little bit further. This is from over on Clutch Points. It said Ohio State football head coach Ryan Day said quarterback Kyle McCoy will start again, according to a Tuesday tweet from the Columbus Dispatch. Ohio State football beat writer Bill Rambanowitz, I believe that's how you say his name. Sorry, Bill, if that is not said. Day said McCord will start again, but he also said that he wants Devin Brown to get more playing time than he got against IU. Day says he doesn't want to draw hard lines about the QB situation, and he's not yet ready to say McCord is the starter for good this season, which once again lays out the narrative. Brown is inching closer and closer to that starting job. The leash on McCord is getting tighter and tighter, and if things don't turn around and quick, is what it sounds like, Brown could be walking into that starting role. I think the definitiveness of saying he is not yet ready to draw lines, he's not ready to commit to McCord for the rest of the season. This is the writing on the wall for McCord that if this play doesn't turn around extremely quickly, which is very hard to do, it's not going to last, and Brown is going to get his day in the sun, Nick. What do you think about this report, and what do you think about things going on down in Ohio State?
Yeah, so first of all, I think it's a great motivational tactic from Day to McCord. He's like, look, you won theoretically. He won the starting job to be the starter against Indiana to kick off the regular season, and he didn't play well. Look, and I know there's a lot of things you can't throw it all on McCord. Obviously, there were some issues, but literally, they were so much more talented than Indiana. There were a lot of issues at the quarterback position. There weren't enough big plays. There weren't enough third down conversions. If you look at on paper, and this is what we've come to expect from Ohio State, to go into these matchups, and if their defense holds a team to 3 points, they're going to win by 50, right? The only way you could really beat Ohio State is like you've seen Michigan beat them or Georgia last season, of course, is you almost have to outscore them, right? You almost have to beat their defense up. If the Ohio State defense plays well, Ohio State generally wins by 50 because their quarterback play and their offensive play in general is that good. Look, their running backs look good. I thought their offensive line was okay. Obviously, they're extremely talented at wide receiver. All that being said, quarterback play had to be a lot better. It wasn't what it needed to be. And one thing that I thought was very interesting, and I want to kind of warn a few Ohio State fans about this. I saw some people online and some bloggers and things like that talking about like, well, if you look at the early 2000s, like the 2002 title team, they didn't win a lot of games impressively either. Forget that. It's a new era, right? Winning ugly. It's not like 2003. It's not like 2007. It's not like 2012. Winning ugly gets you nowhere in college football. You have to be extremely good on offense and extremely good at the quarterback position if you want to win national titles. Full stop. There is no alternative way to win a national title in today's day and age without being really, really, really good at the quarterback position. Even the Georgia Bulldogs, Stetson Bennett's an NFL guy, right? Obviously a really good quarterback, a lot of experience at the college level. You want to win national titles like the Buckeyes obviously want to. That's their goal. That's their target. That's the expectation. You've got to be really good at the quarterback position. It wasn't where, or even wasn't really close to where it needed to be in week one. Ryan Day, in my opinion, is putting a lot of pressure on McCord. I think this is what this is. I think this is a development tactics. Okay, listen, This is your chance. You got 2 games against opponents that you should completely roll over. You should have perfect passer ratings against Western Kentucky and Youngstown State as we get ready for Notre Dame. If you don't, we're going to give some reps in there for that other guy behind you, Brown. And if he plays better, we may go with him. So this is your chance. Don't think you've won the starting job outright, McCord, because guess what? That performance against Indiana, not going to cut it. Miles, what do you think about that? Do you think this is a motivational tactic, or do you think there's actually really some concern in Day's mind that McCord can't get the job done and Brown has to be the guy?
Well, I don't think there's, any kind of delay in as far as Day is concerned, because it's one game. We're not saying, no one here is saying that he is completely lost the job and he's never going to earn it back. But his leash is tightening. He needs to get out there. And this is, I think, like you said, a motivational thing by Day to say, hey, Brown is here. We will use him if we have to. But right now, you're the guy. So just go out and show us why you were the guy. Because honestly, 3 field goals versus Indiana ain't going to cut it. You only had 2 touchdowns, 3 field goals. You turn those into touchdowns, that would have been a fantastic game if you're able to convert those. No one will be talking about this. We'd be talking about Ohio State. Easy walk into the college football playoff. But against Indiana, you got to convert all of those points. 23-3 does not look like a solid win over a team like Indiana. And I think Day knows that. I think McCord knows that. And I think they are willing to, work on what they have to work on to get this offense grooving. And Nick, the thing is, I didn't see a lot of use of the receivers. I don't think that they didn't hit Marvin Harrison Jr. all that much. It really didn't look like too big of a day for anybody. I think it should have been like a slaughter. I don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. having 18 yards is going to really cut it too much for this Ohio State team when they're going up against the big-time opponents. And I think that they realize they're just saying, hey, we got to get out there, we got to clean things up, and we got to convert. We got to make all of these points count, because when it's a team that's not Indiana, this is not going to cut it.
Well, you saw it LSU, FSU, right? Obviously, LSU considered a national title contending team. They go into FSU. They don't convert in the red zone. FSU, being a good team, goes on to throttle LSU. That is the danger, right? If you don't convert, you have bad quarterback play, you'll lose a couple of these games and you'll get knocked out of the college football playoff. It happens very quickly. And to be honest, Ohio State's got a tough schedule, right? Big Ten, of course, is outstanding, and they play Notre Dame, right? There is no room for error in those big games. They got to get wins. 1 loss at the absolute maximum. Can't have any margin for error. I honestly really think part of me thinks that Ryan Day is a little bit concerned here. But I think he just wants to see McCord bounce back and have 2 great, strong performances against teams they should dominate. I think against Youngstown State and Western Kentucky, if McCord puts up good numbers and the offense looks fine, I think a lot of concerns will be levied. But I do think it comes down to that Notre Dame game in a few weeks. I think that will really tell us what the quarterback position is like at Ohio State.